Well, I tried to record this earlier. Apparently it didn't go because I had to answer a phone call right as I started the recording. And I thought I was rolling. I was not. So the recording didn't happen. But it needs to be said, well, it needs to be brought back to our attention, if you will. Well, upon leaving work, times are different now because, well, I'm heading myself home from a makeshift production meeting, if you will. But July 11th, that marks the date when I left the nest, as it was, and I moved my ass to Florida. So it's been, wow, 10 years. Been a decade already since I've been in Florida. And that's pretty tough to think of, just all things considered. I mean, oh wait, I have no family in Florida whatsoever. No family, so it's not like I have a short drive to get, any sense of, what do you say, if you got that, not empty nest syndrome, what's that, if you're homesick, excuse me, that's it. If you're homesick, boy, and I'm not sure what it is, 15, 16, 1,700 miles from home. You know, that's a long damn way to get kind of family comfort. You know, and don't get me wrong, my parents, my brother, they have helped me along the way so fucking much. I can't even put that into simple words. Can't put it into complex words. Without them, I'm not in Florida. I'll tell you that much. My ass probably tuck my tail and run and get back up there to Wisconsin. Not even gonna lie, they've helped me so much over this 10 years. And yeah, to pay them back, oh hell yeah, I need to, but I also want to, which I think is key. I don't know what these people in front of me are doing, but they're taking their time getting through that green light. At any rate, 10 years down here in Florida. 2 years in Orlando, 8 years in the greater Fort Lauderdale area. And I mean, to think about that, like I left, I had money saved up from working. You know, and again, and a lot of that was thanks to my dad and my brother who got me into that damn paper mill. And I made me a shitbox full of money rather quickly, because that's just the kind of job that it was. Did a couple of small shit in between. I think I just did a little bit of dishwashing at a place my friend was working at just before I had moved. My friends, they got married just before I moved. A wedding, reception, all that stuff, went to that. And then it was pretty much, well, all right, July, I'm gone. Poof. You know, July 11th is when we left. And I moved with a couple of kids I went to high school with. They were, well, at least 1 year behind me. Like, if I'm a senior, because we didn't leave right away, right out of graduating high school. Like, I graduated 2000. I obviously didn't leave till 2005, so it's not as if I ran out first thing. But yeah, even still, it's kind of like, am I in that spot where I want to be? Well, hell no, I'm clearly not. I don't think not too many people probably say that they're in a spot where they really want to be. Whether it's financially, whether it's, the job, the career that they're in, not everybody gets to a place where they want to be. I'm working on it, though. I am working on it. And if that can actually, hit and somewhat come true, then it's all good. It is late, so I'm not going to say sorry about that yawn, even though I did say sorry, and that makes twice now. I will not apologize for it. Getting a little late for me. I got that quick turnaround. But at any rate, part of me does pride myself. And like I said, hey, I've had family help. Not going to deny that in the least. But I do pride myself the fact that, well, a lot of people that I knew, whether it was high school or whatever, they always say, oh, fuck this town, I'm leaving this place sucks, I'm out of here, fuck this place, I don't need to come back. They'll move to like Appleton or Green Bay, something like that, about 2 hours away, and they were back every weekend. It's like, oh, you missed it that much, huh? Okay, you missed it that much, you hated it that much that you Had to be back on the weekend. All right, I get you. I've managed to stay, hey, and other than vacations, just visiting, I have not moved back. I don't wish to. It's nowhere near my plan. Nowhere near it. And honestly, I hope it to be that way. Nothing against my friends and family, but I have no reason to go to Wisconsin otherwise. Like some job would have to throw a shitbox full of money at me if I go back to using the phrase shitbox once again. By the way, that's an Ohio license plate that I'm passing. Yes, I'm still playing that game with you, just to give you an idea. But, yawning again. There's not a whole hell of a lot that could get me back to living in Wisconsin. Now, let's just say, I don't know. If something were to happen and I had to be there for a little bit, I don't know, a month or two, something like that, understandable. That's not moving back. But to absolutely up and down the board relocate and move my ass to Wisconsin, at worst, I want that to be Milwaukee or Madison. At worst. Because otherwise, it's not for me. It's just not for me. Especially where my family is. That's totally different. That small-ass damn town of Tomahawk, Wisconsin. Yes, it exists. That ain't no joke. Anybody out there listening that watches the fucking cartoon Metalocalypse? Pickles, the drummer? Yes, Tomahawk, Wisconsin is an actual place. I grew up there. And yes, there is crystal meth. That must be new, though. That's since I've left. I didn't know anybody to be hooked on that stuff or dealing with it. But, Breaking Bad is a hell of a show to get people started, that's for sure. Great motivation. At any rate, been in Florida for 10 years. And boy, yeah, have I changed? Yes. In a lot of ways, and in some ways, not at all. I mean, it's kind of fun to reflect on that. Excuse me again. But it's interesting, when I was in Orlando for 2 years, I didn't know the difference. Because there's a big Latin vibe down here, especially. I mean, there is in Orlando too, but that also is touristy. I mean, if I'm in the Fort Lauderdale, Miami area, yeah, there's tourists all over the place. I mean, fuck, the license plates that I've spewed off in the past couple recordings, there's a lot of people from other places here. New Jersey, New York, Philadelphia, that's Pennsylvania, excuse me. Vermont, New Hampshire, I've seen all the states. Ontario, seen Quebec, seen it all, and they're all over. But, like I was saying, the Latin community, the Cubans, the Puerto Ricans, there's Dominicans, there's Haitians, Jamaicans, Bahamian, for a long time, it took me a while to figure out what was what, It's like if let's just say, I'm at work, and some of the guys are like, oh, dude, check that girl out. Check that Bahamian girl out. I'm like, how the fuck do you know she's Bahamian? Dude, look at her. I don't know. I mean, she's darker than my lily white ass, so I don't know what she is. I'm not denying that. I'm not saying you're wrong. how do you know? I've lived here long enough now that I've kind of picked up those idiosyncrasies, like maybe it's just accent. Accent is easy, though. Style of dress, like let's say the person don't talk and you just kind of, look at what the hell's that person wearing, but you kind of, it clicks in your brain. It's like, oh, well, they're Dominican. You can tell. Socks and sandals. There's just shit like that, Well, I can tell if they're Cuban or Puerto Rican. I've been able to figure that out along the years. Which, hey, where I grew up, none of that. I mean, there were natives. That's about it. There's a pretty strong Native American, not just community, but it's very strong in the North Woods of Wisconsin. That's no joke. I mean, so if there's any sort of non-white up that way, it's definitely that. But I mean, that is just okay, they're not white. They're not of, their grandparents are clearly not fucking German, But it's like, well, what tribe is their bloodline? You know what I mean? Like, that's the only difference. Are they Menominee? Are they Cherokee? Like, that was the only difference. You knew, obviously, dude, Dad, yeah, he, she, they are, yeah, they're native. Okay, that's it. Get down here. So like if you accidentally call a Puerto Rican a Cuban or vice versa, oh, you could get an ass whooping out of that. It's like, dude, calm down. Why the fuck you gotta be so Cuban about this? Motherfucker, I'm Puerto Rican. And yeah, that's where your face gets rearranged. But I've learned the differences. Whether it's, well, like I said, the accent is easy. But just the style of this and that, you know, what they're wearing, maybe a tweak to the accent, who accentuates the vowels that much more. Yeah, so I mean, I've learned different bits of the culture too. I mean, that's the fun part for me. I do not mind traveling so long as I get to stay in that place for a little bit. Shit, I've been down here for 8 years, in Florida for 10 fucking years. I mean, that's a decade of Floridian destruction. I'm not the same. This place ain't the same. Ever since I got here, none of it the same. Gotta say too, like when I first moved down, like I said, there were 2 kids I went to high school with. One of them, I'll be honest, I'm holding back on names. I'm surprised I'm naming cities, but the one kid that I went to high school with and I moved down here with, hey, I don't give 1/10 of a fuck about him because he turned out to be a real piece of garbage, to say the least. I could be a little more explicit with my verbal content, but to call somebody a piece of garbage, I think says about enough. The other kid, it's just, I'm friends with him on Facebook, and I mean, that don't hold much water, I admit that, and I don't shout out to him as much as, whatever. But, I mean, things kind of change. I got nothing against him. I'll say that straight up. I wouldn't think he's got anything fucking negative to say against me either. Just I haven't kept up with him. I haven't said hey. Haven't gotten in touch. I haven't seen him in shit. It was years ago. But he was back up. Back up where we grew up. And I mean that was all circumstantial. So I mean I'm not knocking him on the. Fuck this place, I'm leaving. No, circumstances kind of, steered him back. So, like, I'm not knocking him for... And I don't even know... I have an idea where he's living. But I'm not totally sure, to be brutally honest. Got an idea. But I haven't reached out to him. I'll be brutally honest. I'll put that on me. I haven't reached out to him to say hey or whatever. But, I mean, well, that's just kind of how shit is. We all got our own lives, and we're all doing our own shit, and things are different, and... even in times of crossing paths, or paths, sometimes that shit don't work. There's, and I'm not going to say that he's not a good friend, just I haven't talked to him in forever. We fucking shared an apartment, yeah. Good friend, not really. Even me moving to Florida was kind of, coincidental. I don't want it, circumstantial sounds bad. It was coincidental, because I had the money saved up. And I was like, I'm going to move. This summer, I'm going to move. Well, Mike, where are you going to move? I've given it some thought. I haven't looked into it, but I'm thinking. I had my mind set on Phoenix, tell you the truth. It's like, Phoenix, really? Yeah. Phoenix, someplace nice with warm weather. I need Phoenix. Give me maybe Myrtle Beach. I guess Houston is really nice, big city, kind of close to the Gulf, the water right there. Orlando would be really cool. This would be, hey dude, we're moving to Orlando for school. What? The 2 kids, right? Like, yeah, we're going down there to fucking go to school. Just move with us. Okay, that set it up really easy. Otherwise, my ass might still be in the silver state of Arizona. Check me if I'm wrong if they're not the silver state. But I'm pretty sure it is. But, yeah, I was set to move to Phoenix, and I don't know why. Just I wanted that warm weather. I said, in the long run, I either want sand or snow. And I sure as fuck would have got sand living in Arizona. Goddamn desert, But no, Orlando, it was coincidental. It was absolutely coincidental. Why I chose Orlando as opposed to a Miami initially, I don't know. But, whatever, that's how the cards were played. I wasn't smart enough to know how to work with them otherwise and shit like that. I didn't have a plan. Like I said, it was coincidental. So, I've been down here, in Florida 10 years and basically moved on a whim, essentially. It was a very short whim. Well, what are you going to do for a job when you get down there? I don't know, but I got money saved up. Fucking I'll figure it out, and I'll get some, income rolling, at the very least, to keep myself riding over. I had no plan. I just knew what I was going to, I wanted out and I was going to move. That's all it was. This essentially has been a 10-year vacation, kind of. Because, I had no plan. I didn't have anything set here when I left. I had nothing set in stone other than where I was going to, have a roof over my head. That was it. I mean, to think, 2 years up there, Orlando, and then I decided, now I need a plan. And even still, my plan ain't going as I would have hoped. I'll be perfectly fucking honest with you. But I gotta go to school. I don't want to work this fucking, this job that I'm doing. This ain't gonna be the death of me. Fuck no. I'd rather die doing something that I at least are morbidly interested in the least. Not just doing that shit I was doing. And I jumped around. I had plenty of fucking jobs when I was in Orlando. Didn't know what I wanted to do. I had no plan. And, then I said, what I want to do, let me go to school. Well, for what? And I figured, what the fuck, I don't know, radio, something. How can I get into sports? Because I'm not built to play. I mean, fuck, anybody that knows me physically is like, yeah, dude, you'd get your fucking skull rocked in. I know that. And plus, did I get scholarships from playing ball? Nope. Didn't really play much ball to get said scholarships. So there's nothing I could have done there. But a lot of people along the years, and it was like ahead of the time, this was even before I moved, like, well, dude, you know a lot about sports, and like fucking you know how to describe it, how to talk about it, and fucking why not be the announcer at a fucking ball game? Get there up in the booth and be the play-by-play guy or the color guy or something. I didn't think of it at the time. But along the way, I had that job that was just a grind doing nothing. And I figured, let's go to school, broadcasting. Let me try to get into the sports media field, which is what I'm doing now. Proud to say about that. Proud to say that I haven't moved back to Wisconsin because this place sucks. I fucking hate it. And then, I'll be back on the weekend, right? So there are points of pride, don't get me wrong. But I left Orlando. I said, I need to find me a school with a dorm, a place to stay, because I can't just move someplace with no place to stay. I was like at that point where I need a place to stay as well. I can't just go to some fucking school, some tech university bullshit where I can't get a place to fucking, sleep. And so granted, I found a place. Wasn't the best place, but it was a place offering the two things I needed. That degree in broadcasting and a place, a dorm to stay at. Got that going, and just thinking all the shit that I did in between. I'm getting close to home too. I might wrap this up early. I mean, I don't want to, but shit. Talking myself all the way back. Anyway. Excuse me. Went to school, the broadcasting shit, all that stuff, and think about the jobs and the shit that I did and the people that I met and interacted with and getting my shit all set up like, went from MySpace to Facebook to Twitter, wow. All that social media bullshit that everybody's just got to do, otherwise you ain't nobody. And the places that I've been, Jesus Christ, you kidding me? South Beach? It's Miami Beach, it's just, it's South Miami Beach, not North Miami Beach. So when they say South Beach, it's just like from whatever streets, from like 12th Ave, no, not Avenue, 12th Street down to 20th Street, I don't know. But there's literal like geographic fucking mindsets is where South Beach is when people talk about Miami Beach. First time going there and all that shit, and just interesting to see everything down here. And shit, let me go back. Did all the shit, went to school, got the degree. I'm working in radio and have been for a number of years now, trying to get some pieces of that shit put together and get some things going. Fast forward, make some good coin out of this. Got to create some content. Kind of what I'm doing now. Trying to create some content, get some shit rolling, see what I can get. Not just get the feet wet, but fucking start swimming. Sometimes you got to take that jump, that risk. And to think I've been down here for 10 years. And to some degree, it's almost as if, I mentioned this on the recording that didn't happen. But it's one of those things where, like, those years in, from when you start life, you preschool, kindergarten, first grade, all the way to all the way out, senior year and all that stuff. Now think about this. I've been down here for 10 years. I've been in Florida, for 10 years. That's basically from first grade to I just finished up sophomore year. Those years of your life, when you're going through them, are a fucking drag and a half. These past 10 years, you couldn't have told me this is how it was going to be and how fast it was going to be. Good old Ferris Bueller, right? Life moves pretty fast, and if you don't stop around and look once in a while, you could miss it. Well, I mean, granted, I've been in the same general area for about 8 years, and I do like it here, don't get me wrong. But it's one of those things where, damn, it's been 10 years already. And it really doesn't seem it. I mean, not seeing my friends and my family as much as I would want to, definitely is that motherfucking reminder that, there's things that I've missed, whether it's friends' weddings or something along those lines, and, people that I hadn't seen in forever. Those things do kind of like, certain things, wish I would have been there for it, Wish I would have been there for it. Well, some of it, it's like, do you regret not going to this and that? Some things, yes. Other things would have been fun. But it's kind of crazy. And I mean, because here I am, Mr. Miami, right? Everybody's expecting my ass to be all... Shut the car off, excuse me. Actually, turn the fucker off, it's fine. Everybody's expecting me to be all... Got this great tan down by the... because I live on the beach, right? So I'm supposed to have this great tan. And I got to be driving a fucking Mercedes or a BMW... and I'm living in this beautiful goddamn condo. None of that is true. False, false, false across the board, and it ain't even close. But, it's... I've always said, and hey, this is something I came up with. I don't remember who I heard this from, if anybody, so I gotta take full credit on it. It's tough to enjoy paradise when you live in it. For somebody else that's not from here to come down, oh yeah, they live it up. They're on the beach. They don't have to work because they're on vacation. They're visiting, right? They go to the beach. They can have all the drinks, check out the clubs, go to the fancy fucking malls, check out these expensive-ass automobile joints. They got like, $500,000 cars on the showroom floor. You got prostitutes down by the bus stop. I've never seen one of those before, and there's 4 of them right there. You get all kind. You go to a liquor store if you're going to be having some drinks that on. I've never seen the bottles of shit that they're trying to sell me. This is fucking weird. And like I said, all the license plates that I see in what I'm, there's Ohio, there's Pennsylvania, there's New Jersey, there's Ohio. Like I see them all. Everybody's down here, and there's a reason for it because it's paradise. But it's tough to enjoy paradise when you live here. Because I gotta, those fucking gimmicks they keep sending in the mail? They're called bills. I gotta pay those sons of bitches. I fucking hate that. I'm sure everybody does, but, there's a reason that nobody really vacations to Des Moines, Iowa. They want to go to Miami. And I totally get that, but I'm not a Miami person. I'm not a Florida person. I'm clear. No, I am a Florida person because I'm not from here. That's like everybody else. So that don't change for nothing. There are very few people I know of that are born and raised in South Florida. There's no joke behind that. But if they are their parents born and raised here? That's the bigger story. There are so many fucking New Yorkers down here. God damn. I mean, you can just tell. Even if they got Florida plates like they live here, or maybe they do, bi-monthly, or they got a fucking, just a beach house down there. Maybe they got the condo and the nice tan and the BMW or the Mercedes. Maybe that's them. But so many New Yorkers down here. But that's just, I-95 will take you from Miami all the way up, I think, into Canada, for fuck's sakes. Like, that just goes and goes and goes. So, I mean, we get plenty of visiting action down here, but I'm definitely not that person. Right now, when I got in my car and left for work today, my car said it was like, 101 degrees or some shit? Hot out. Let's just say it was at least 95, according to my car thermometer deal. That little gimmick. If that thing's saying at least 95, I'm still wearing t-shirt and jeans. I'm not a Florida person. I don't own flip-flops or sandals. I hate that shit. Just hate 10 years, that hasn't changed. I'm a t-shirt and jeans kind of guy. Just living my ass in Florida, wanting to get shit going. And, it's been an interesting ride so far, but I will say this, the next 10 years better be better than these first 10 years, because, there's a lot of shit I could have done way better, could have done way different. I got to take a shit ton of, accountability, responsibility on this. Like I said, am I exactly where I thought I would be? No, because I didn't have a plan. At least now that I'm really grasping a plan and what I fucking need to do, what I want to do, it's going to be totally different. But, to be down here for 10 years, well, to be perfectly honest, we left Tomahawk on July 11th, 2005. We didn't get into Orlando until July 13th. So my departure was 10 years ago. My arrival, a little bit of time yet. That'll actually be on Monday. So maybe that episode, that recording that I give you of 30-minute musings, might be a little bit about that. We'll see how that goes. But I got a short turnaround here. I got to get my ass inside, pull up my contact lenses, brush the teeth a little bit, get into my PJ material, jump into bed, crank up the AC first, then jump into bed, snooze out like a sumbitch, go right back to work. Part of that grind. That's what I've been doing for 10 years, just on the grind. There's a fucking ocean right there. I'm trying to keep my head above water. What can I tell you? That being said, I think I've rambled enough with the car off and sitting in the goddamn parking space here. 3:20 to go, counting down. I think that's been enough. Hey, if you get 27 good minutes of fucking musings, that should be decent enough for you. I gotta upload this son of a bitch when I get to work. Probably be a faster upload time at the very least. Plus, I don't think my computer's gonna want to handle all that shit. As soon as I get inside, plug the fucker in, go to upload, and transfer that video file over, or this audio into a video file, blah, 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 over to Facebook. And, onto YouTube. That's gonna take a little bit of work. I've been saying that now for about 10 years. So at about 2:40 left on the clock, hey, 2-minute warning, whatever you want to call it. Gotta shut this sumbitch down. But as always, I'll get back to you because there's always a 30-minute musing right around the corner. That being said, I will catch your ass down the road.